so much for being here. My name's Stu. Thanks for coming out. I really appreciate it. We're filming it tonight. Yeah, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Prime time. That's exactly what you want. Whenever you watch those American Netflix specials where they walk in and they get a standing ovation just for being in the venue, you're always like, yeah, I bet that was midweek. Midweek tea time. That's what it looks like. The one show's on at the same time as this. That's what you want. My name's Stu. Thank you so much for being here. You know, I got into stand-up when I was a teenager about 15 years ago, and people would get like quite famous in a couple of years. They'd have a DVD out at Christmas. They'd be millionaires in like 2 years. And I don't know if you're keeping up with... Yeah, have your phones off as well if you can. He's a plant. We're like, we'll get a phone off early, like literally the earliest the phone has ever gone off at any recorded piece of entertainment ever. I've done stand-up for 8 years. I reckon I've heard about 2 phones go off. With respect, who's got a ringtone? It's 2024. Is that my audience? Ringtone people. It's all good, man. It's all good. If you could silence, that'd be great. Yeah, people used to get so rich, DVDs at Christmas and that. And now, I don't know if you know how it works, but now you're a comedian, you've got to spend your own money to film something, to put it on YouTube for people to see for free so that incels can call you a cuck. That's the difference now. And you're skint as well, by the way. That's it now. So yeah, doing a show that I did at the Fringe, and on the first day of the Fringe, it was like a fire door to get in. You're like very glamorous, you're out by the bins, waiting to come on, and I was announced on, and the fire door locked behind me, and I was banging on. I was late for my own show. I couldn't get in to my own show. I used to work there. 3 years down the line, can't get into the fucking place. Terrifying, and yeah, it's great to be here. I really do like doing Fringe shows, man. I'm a local act, you know, I'm a local comedian, and I love staying in Scotland, and you know, there's a lot of pressure in stand-up to like move to London, you know, that's what people think everything is, and I get that, you know, everyone's like my mates in London, you're like, you gotta move here, I know the booker for Live at the Apollo. I'm like, that's great, I know someone who shagged one of the Oompa Loompas at the Willy Wonka experience. It was me, so couldn't have done that if I'd moved. So yeah, thank you for coming. Previously on Stuart McPherson's Fringe shows, in my last show I had alopecia, I had the hair disease, I was losing patches of hair all over my head. Spoiler alert, it's grown back. This is all me, baby. There's not going to be a big wig reveal. My gran died, still dead, she loves it. She committed to that, no take-backsies, and we support her decision as a family. And my girlfriend left me, and she still left me. And if you did see the last show, you know she did that too close to the Fringe. I didn't have time to really get into it. So that's all this is, to be honest. That's what this show is. This is a breakup show. I'm sorry. I don't know why I always want to talk about my love life on stage. I don't know why that... I think it's because I like the Arctic Monkeys. They're my favourite band, and all their songs are about their love life. And if you've been following my work at all, you know that my Fringe shows mirror the trajectory of the Arctic Monkeys albums. So it goes relationship, single, Hotel on the Moon, alienate my fan base. That's what we're going for. And I kind of, because you know when you're heartbroken and everything, you try to get your shit back together. So it's so embarrassing to even say, but I basically wanted to write a show about self-love, but I basically can't even, I'm too Scottish to like say the phrase. Like, I basically wanted to write a show that like, what if Lizzo was a wee guy for Fife? I mistreat my backing dancers as well, fuck them. They're behind the curtain there, big finale, look forward to that later. I should say allegedly, this is on YouTube, allegedly she did that. Good catch. So yeah, I wanted to write a show about self-love, and I think it's hard to love yourself as a Scottish man. That's my theory. Men, we're not great with our emotions at the best of times. Scottish people, what a repressed nation. We've got deep-seated slagging culture in this country. Tall poppy syndrome, we cut each other down for everything, and yet at the same time we're a nation of pioneers and inventors. Does that not blow your mind? I'm astonished any achievement has ever happened in this country with the way we talk to each other. John Logie Baird invented the TV. I bet he got slagged to fuck for that. All his mates in the pub, oh, here comes telly. What's on the telly tonight, telly? Fuck all. Alexander Graham Bell, who are you phoning? Well, you got so many pals, you need your own special device. Get a grip, Jesus. You know, even in my own family, I guess it's like a masculinity problem, really, but, you know, like my dad, my granddad. I come from a long line of warm, kind gentlemen who for their whole lives have had to pretend to be hard and miserable for, get this, no reason. No reward whatsoever. Seems crazy saying it out loud, but that's the truth. My dad's a great guy. I love him to bits. I'm sure he loves me too. It's never come up in convo. He's a great guy, but he won't allow himself to enjoy anything because that's weak. The only thing I've ever seen my dad enjoy is he loves playing Minesweeper. Shittest game available on the market. I might have to explain this. I don't know if Minesweeper's rocked Gen Z yet. Originally on the desktop, you just click in boxes, that's all it is, until you hit a mine. And he loves it, he can't get enough of that. Sitting in the house, he just click, 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 and then he gets to the end and either wins or loses, and you can't tell because he doesn't smile out of the way. And then he clicks play again. That's his favourite thing to do on God's green earth. I don't know how he gets his kicks, man. Like, I was back a few weeks ago, me and my sister and we were watching the telly, watching Takeshi's Castle. Yeah. If John Logie Baird could see Takeshi's Castle, honestly, he'd be buzzing. It was all worth it, man. He'd be spinning in his grave in a rice bowl down the hill and then into the lake. He'd be buzzing. And we're watching Takeshi's Castle, me and my sister. My dad's on the other couch. We're just pissing ourselves laughing. He's got the defences up on the laptop. Click, click, click. Don't let anyone in. If I can see him out the corner of my eye, he's loving Takeshi's Castle. Of course he is. He's not made of stone, this guy. He's loving it, laughing away, beaming like a Cheshire cat. Me and my sister are loving it. It gets to the end, my sister's like, oh, that was great, wasn't it? Should I put another one? And he's like, nah, lot of shout. What are you gaining from pretending to not enjoy Takeshi's Castle, Dad? He's a great guy. I'm sure he does love me, but he's got no respect for me whatsoever as a man. I'll tell you how I know this. It was my birthday recently. I'm in my late 20s now, I'm 30. And he took me to the football for my birthday, my dad. He took me hospitality tickets, you know, you get a meal and everything. We had a lovely day out, right? But he does not respect me as an adult, and I know this because about a week before the match, right, my dad, he got an email from the club saying that the dress code in the hospitality section was smart casual, right? And he was absolutely terrified and convinced that I was not going to meet the minimum requirements to attend a lower league Scottish football fixture. I got a forward text from my dad the other week. Honestly struck fear in my heart. I think it's a damning indictment of my whole character. Forwards from Dad. Do you have trousers? Not even own. Do you have? Can you get your hands on a person? I'm fucking 30. So yeah, this time around, the good thing about this breakup is I've been very busy, which is good. That's what you want. You don't want to be wallowing it. You want to be out in town enjoying yourself, and been very busy, which is new for me. Like at the minute, I'm just every day. You know, there's a dot in my Apple calendar. You know, some appointment, some event, and not long ago, I was so free and easy. Like I had to check this for tax reasons. Two years ago, July 2022, I had so little on. I had 2 dots in my calendar for the whole month. I had a haircut and the Battle of the Boyne. And I didn't even end up serving in that battle, if we're being honest. Just can't get off my phone. It's like that fucking U2 album. This time, I've been busy, but the last time I was single, it was many years ago, I was 22, my life was very different, and I had a lot longer to wallow in it. That was a bad breakup as well. Like, she was nice and everything, but just, it was tough, man. Like, she went to China to study for 6 months, and yeah, I always remember this. Like, I'm very needy, that's something I'm gonna tell you in this next hour. I'm very needy in a relationship. Like, even if you're just going to the co-op, I need to know you miss me, and you love me. She went to China, so much further than the co-op. And I wanted her to miss me so bad, and I'll never forget that she sat me down after the 6 months away. We tried long distance and that, and she was just like, yeah, Stu, I really wanted to miss you. And there's not like a double negative coming, by the way. It's not like X Factor, you're not through to the judges' houses. She did not miss me, this woman, and that is absolutely fair enough, good. And I had a long time to wallow in it, like I said. I was 22, I just started stand-up, but it takes years to get anywhere good enough, you know, to get anyone to give a fuck, you know, so I had to supplement my income of £0, which was not enough. Even before the cost of living crisis, you forget, 0 was not enough to feed and clothe me. I did not own trousers at this point, honestly. I got a job in a cafe, I got sacked after 1.5 shifts. Which people are always like, 1.5, that's crazy, you must have done something mental. Nah, I just sucked. I was terrible, I got given this job, 1.5 shifts, it's a full week of my life though. Had the interview on the Monday, trial shift Tuesday, I was off Wednesday, I'd earned it. Penultimate shift Thursday, sacked at lunch Friday. If Craig David were to write a song about that, he'd have to just start making shit up. Got sacked by this she was a nice woman, nice middle-aged woman, and she was very nice. And obviously I was just dog shit at this job, so she had to sack me. But she was like too nice for a sacking. So it was confusing. Do you know what I mean? Like she was trying to be nice, but she overdid it. And I was just so confused. She sat me down day 2 of a new job, and she's like, first thing I want to say, we all really like you. I'm like, yeah, great. Love you guys too. I look forward to a long and illustrious career. Good vibes about the place, friends for life. And she's like, no, you don't get it, son. It's just, I'd love it if this would work out, but it's just not. It's not happening. It's a cutthroat business, the cafe industry. So you have to give in the apron, so I gave her the apron in, and then I think she was like feeling so bad for me, she didn't know how to end a sacking. I don't know if she'd sacked anyone before, so she tried to be nice, but she overdid it. So I gave her the apron, and then she was like, but you know, keep hanging out. Don't be a stranger. Imagine I did. 1.5 shifts, and I'm just there like Norman Cheers every day, rocking up like a divorced pisshead in Witherspoons. Me again. Fucking hell. So I'm going to tell you now about this last breakup, and I'm just flagging it early because I just need no sympathy, all right? You can laugh or not laugh, that's fine, but no sympathy. It's a comedy club. I've got therapy, I don't need you. We've worked through this. Just don't worry about my men's mental health, all right? My men's mental health is fine, thank you. You don't believe me. People are worried. I just love that phrase. I love men's mental health. It's so much better than your girly shit. It's great. I'm not crying because she left. I'm crying because I'm remembering the fallen soldiers of the First World War. Thank you. So yes, started going to therapy, and I put it off for a long time because I don't know if any of you have been in this boat, but the problem is when you got to choose a therapist, there's too much choice and not enough information to base your decision on. It's crazy. I live in Glasgow. I typed in Glasgow therapy, like 50,000 results come up. The only information you get to base your choice is you get a Head and Shoulders picture of them like that. Like a Panini football sticker. There he is, Dr. Norton, 400 appearances for St Mirren. Nice one. You get a photo of them and an email address. Good luck. I bought an air fryer last year. I spent about 4 fucking months researching that. I was reading Amazon reviews day and night, but I'm happy with my choice, but that's what I need, surely. Arguably, this is more important than chicken dippers. The person I'm giving all my trauma, all my darkest secrets. The onus shouldn't be on me having to scroll through looking for clues, like blue shirt with a blue tie. Nah. Hotmail email address, not a fucking chance. Started going to therapy. I like the guys. You know, he's good. He seems smart. You know, he's got glasses. Suit jacket, Gmail account. He's a triple threat, this guy. It's going great. I do like him, but I was in there the other week, and I don't know if I'm just being a dick here. I hope you're on my team, but like, you know, normal therapy session. I'm spilling my heart out. He's loving it. I'm crushing this gig. It's going great. During the session, I'm looking down. I'm just spilling my heart out, and I look up, and he's taking a drink. He's drinking Huel. That's a red flag, is it not? If you don't know Huel, by the way, it's a meal replacement shake. It's for people that are too sad to cook. That's not what I want from a mental health professional. It's like seeing your GP smoking. Leave that at the door, brother. While I'm on it, again, I don't want to be a dick, but this year I went to the GP's about 2 in the afternoon. And listen, I love the NHS, I love a GP. Great. 2 in the afternoon, though, right? She takes a drink. She's drinking out of a KFC cup. That's not just me being a dick. Like, go to KFC, by all means, but pour it in a mug or something. Come on. Meet me halfway. There's got to be some bedside manner here. I can't be getting a bad diagnosis from someone with a boneless banquet under the fucking desk. Not allowed to say it looks bad, Mr. McPherson, but put it this way, it's not finger looking good. So yes, all you need to know contextually for this last breakup is my ex is a stand-up comedian as well, right? And she left me for another more famous comedian, right? That's what happened. It was difficult, you know, and the timing was hard because she dumped me, but it was kind of like a phony, bullshitty, gaslighty version. And 2 weeks later, the truth came out. In the meantime, I'd gone on holiday. You ever just so sad you have to go on holiday immediately? She dumped me. I was like, if I'm not 20 degrees warmer tomorrow, I'm going to kill myself. If I'm not drinking a Fanta Limon this time tomorrow, it's Dunyan rings for old Stuart McP93, I swear to God. So I'd been on holiday 2 weeks, and then she sat me down and she told me the truth. And she sat me down in the park. She's like, you know, you thought something was going on with this other guy. Well, I'm not proud of this, but it was. You know, I didn't have the heart to tell you at the time. I feel really bad, but yeah, it's true. You were right, and I'm seeing this other guy, and I'm going down to stay with him. But you know, keep hanging out. Don't be a stranger. The timing of it was terrible, man, I gotta say, because it was like, you know, a couple of summers ago, and things were going pretty well in the rest of my life. I was getting some nice career opportunities and stuff, and that was nice. And at that very time, I was asked to make a taster tape, right? Would you make a sort of tape with your friends, like for a sitcom? That's the idea. And you might be like, why has he just started bragging now? I don't know, she was in it. Who was she playing in it? My girlfriend. And she dumped me between filming and editing. So in that 2-week period, we were like, I can't even look at one of the books she bought. I had to sit with my director, Connor, in like minute detail, being like, at 3 minutes 10, she's kissing me, which is great for the plot, but it makes me want to throw my heart in the bin. Long story short, I hope the channel aren't tied to that casting choice, because between me and you, I'm quite keen to cut her out. I think new ideas, I play a version of myself, my mate Steve plays a version of himself, and introducing Dame Judi Dench as my girlfriend. Either that, I'm doing an Eddie Murphy Norbit, I'm playing all the characters, fuck it. You know, like I say, I've done stand-up for, 7 or 8 years, and it takes a long time to get anywhere. It does, it's just a slow build. And no one had ever been interested, like as an agent, basically, I'd never had any interest from agents. And then suddenly, right around this time, I was getting interest from agents at the Fringe that year, and it was very exciting. And again, let's check the ego, by the way. If you don't know me at all, if you've been dragged along, I'm like at an embarrassingly low level of fame. It's like worse than none, I would say. If you don't know me, this is how famous I am. In Scotland, on a good week, I get recognised 2 or 3 times. Once a month, someone will ask for a selfie, and then they won't post it online. I like this guy, but it's niche. It's not for the grid. So around this time, during the Fringe, I get interest from agents. And this big, powerful comedy agency, they were interested in talking to me, and it's very exciting. And again, like I say, it's a very fickle industry. You know not to get your hopes up. It's the hope that kills you. You know that. However, there's already a party in the Hollywood Hills smoking a cigar going, I'm going to be a star! So I'm all excited, and I go for this meeting, right, with this big, powerful comedy agent during the Fringe. And I need to stop the show at this point to come up with a fake name to give to the guy who ran off with my girlfriend, because I can't and don't want to name him in the show. And also, don't do any fucking baby reindeer shit on me. I've worked hard to write this show in a way that doesn't identify anyone, so just, you're not Sherlock Holmes, you're a loser with the internet. Just relax. Go outside. So I need to come up with a fake name. What's your name, mate?
Wayne.
Wayne. What's your second name? Cares. Kez. Wayne, it even sounds like wankers. Wayne Kez. What a wanker. Thank you. Wayne Kez. All right, that's what this guy's going to be called for the rest of the show. Delighted with that, I can't lie to you. Absolutely buzzing. It's a real high wire at that, because sometimes it's like got dangerously close to the real name. That's bad. Another time, I had a couple of Americans in one night, and his name was Chance Bangs. I was like, I'd leave me for Chance Bangs. Didn't stand a chance. Wayne Kez. All right, fantastic. Thank you. So, yeah. I'm in this meeting, right, with a powerful comedy agent during the Fringe. It's going great. I'm talking about what I can do for him. He's talking about what he can do for me. We're getting on great, right? About halfway through the meeting, chat gets a bit less formal, and we start talking about what shows we've seen at the Fringe, what other comedians we like, yada, 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 right? I shit you not, this agent turns to me halfway through the meeting, and he says to me, do you know who I think's brilliant? Wayne Kez. Do you know him? I'm like, we've got a mutual. And I don't know what to say to this. My heart sinks. It's not even one of his acts, by the way. I'm like, this is crazy. You've been to the Fringe. There's 10,000 comedians on. It's mental that he's picked Wayne Kez, right? The likelihood of that is so unlikely. It's crazy. So I'm like, I don't want to mess the meeting up, so I'll just ignore it. It'll be over in a second. It wasn't over in a second, right? Because the agent thought I'd never heard of Wayne Kez before, he starts performing a routine to me from Wayne Kez's... No sympathy. I'm not going to tell you again. I'm the only actor on the circuit that will chuck you out for being too nice, so keep that in mind. He thinks I've not heard of the guy, so he starts performing a routine to me from Wayne Kez's new Fringe show, right? And the routine is about what the kitchen cupboards are like at his new girlfriend's mum and dad's house. I'm like, yeah, I know the cupboards. And I'm like, this is insane. This is so crazy. There's no rule book for when this happens to you. So I don't want to make it weird, but he's like telling me jokes, and like I can't laugh because it's too raw for me, but also like, why am I not laughing? He doesn't know what he's done. Why am I making him feel like a dick? This is a lose-lose situation, really. And I'm kind of thinking about it. I'm like, to be fair, like, arguably, you know, like, it's about relatability, comedy, right? And arguably, there's no better person to relate to this routine. I'm all for putting into Wayne Kez, but the cunt's right, the jam shouldn't be in that cupboard. long story short, I'm not going to be a star. There's actually so many weird parts of this breakup, and I just couldn't be arsed talking about it for the whole show, so I thought I'm just going to read them to you. Is that all right? Just relax, let them wash over you. Let's rattle through. At the time we split up, me and my ex hadn't done a gig on the same lineup together for about 6 months. The week we split up, we had 3 gigs back to back. Nice. Ollie, who's my flatmate and one of my 2 best mates, still went to Wayne Kes's Fringe show. Because he bought the tickets 6 months earlier. My ex once entered a photo of the 2 of us wearing sunglasses into a competition for a local glasses manufacturer. She won a free pair of specs. Good for her. As a result, there's a photo of the 2 of us hung up in every branch of this glasses company's shops. When we split up, I politely asked for them to be taken down. A few months after the split, weirdly enough, I began dating a girl who worked for this glasses shop, and she confirmed to me that the pictures of me and my ex were still prominently displayed, despite the fact that her branch of the shop opened after the dissolution of our relationship. Wayne Kes has already done a Fringe show about how it feels to split up with another comedian. Can you imagine how annoying that is? Me and my ex used to listen to Wayne Kes's podcast together. So much so that despite him stealing my girlfriend in late May 2022, in December it still appeared at number 5 in my end-of-year Spotify Wrapped. You were in Wayne Kes's top 1% of fans. I highly doubt it. In 2015, I was at a music festival that also does comedy with my then girlfriend Lisa, the girl who left me to go to China. Fair fucks to her. At the time, we went to see some comedy while we were there. One of the comedians we saw was Wayne Kes at the big comedy tent that sits around 2,000 people. At the time, he was performing a routine on stage about how male comedians often portray themselves positively in order to attract female fans. And to illustrate his point, he would choose a random man in the audience as an example of a toxic male presence. There were 2,000 people there that day, and Wayne Kes chose me. I didn't think about it much for 7 years because it wasn't particularly relevant to my life, but in hindsight, fuck me. If I could go back in time, I wouldn't kill baby Hitler. I'd go to 2015 and explain to 22-year-old me what's about to happen in 8 years. Well done, man, you did it. You're a professional stand-up. That's all you ever wanted. I'm so proud of you. Weird snag, though. You know that guy that's on stage just called you a toxic male presence? He runs off for your girlfriend. What? But I'm like 20 and he's like 40. Yeah. Also, Lisa, my then girlfriend at the time, was studying a master's in infectious diseases and pandemic planning. I bet she never thought she'd have to use that. Cheers. Thank you. Thank you. So that's that. Single again. And, you know, it was a tough one. It was a blind side. And at the best of times when you're nearly broken up with, you're just mad, aren't you? Full of manic energy. You don't know what to do with yourself. I've had the craziest thoughts. Like, maybe I'll just move to Japan and be a craftsman. Just mad shit. Never been out of Europe, never handled wood, but I'll figure it out. And I've always thrown myself in quickly to the next one in the past. I think I'm scared of being alone, so I've always jumped in, and I was trying not to do that this time around. I was trying, but it's hard, man. Like, how long do you reckon, after, maybe it was like 4 or 5 years, that last relationship, how long would you leave it to then rejoin a dating app, would you say? What's acceptable? A month. A month? Okay, that's fair enough. You know, I've had longer, I've had shorter than that. What I'm about to say, it's not literally true, but the spirit of it is, I basically downloaded Tinder as she was doing it. She was like, you know how you thought something was going on with that guy? I was like, yeah, I think I see where this is headed. What photo do you think I look nicest in? I like the sunglasses too, I'll crop you out, don't worry. So that was that, straight back on Tinder. And like, I am always looking for the one, I think. Like, I think at heart, I am a hopeless romantic. I do believe that. I think if you told any of my exes that, they'd find that hilarious. They're like, yeah, you're half right. But I am. There's like a romantic side of me. I can't help it. I can't switch it off, even when I'm on like a dating app. The least romantic thing in the world, by the way. I just can't help myself. Like I'll be on some women's profile, and I'm just catching myself in this like fantasy of this life me and this woman are going to live together, who I've never laid eyes on before. Crazy, you know, all the trips we're going to go on. Me and her bombing down the Amalfi Coast. I always wanted to see the Amalfi Coast, honey. Bombing down Route 66. I can't even drive in real life. This is a crazy fantasy. Growing old together, pottering around in the garden, and yeah, we get on at one another. The kids don't get it. That's how we show our love. I look back, she says, Katie, 30, Glasgow, that's all it says. Can't even tell which one she is. They're all group photos. Putting a bus on down the Amalfi Coast for all these girls. Back on dating apps, and it's such an obvious point, but all they are, they're all the same, these apps, talking to randoms, and I'm terrible at getting back to my actual friends and family, by the way. Neglect them all the time, people I love, and then all day long I'm on these dating apps speaking to complete strangers, which is the one thing we were warned about the internet at school, by the way. Don't talk to strangers online, kids. They might try and meet you in real life and shag you. Spending 90% of my day doing that very thing, in the hope they might meet me and shag me. Be running with scissors next, I tell you. So getting back out there, and I've had a lot of fun, you know, since then, a lot of fun meeting new people, going on dates and stuff. It's been loads of interesting people. You know, there was the goth girl that drove a hearse. She was cool. Didn't bother writing a joke for that one. Thought that was enough. Is it clear to you she's not driving the hearse professionally? No, I can't do it all for you. You do need to picture some of this in your heads. It's not all on me tonight. She was going to Londis in that thing. Fair fucks. Took magic mushrooms on a second date with a girl. That was fun. It's not really my kind of thing. I'm not a big drugs guy. My attitude to drugs is the same as to prawn crackers. I never order them. If they're around, people starving in the world, who am I, you know? I took magic mushrooms on this second date. And, you know, it was fun. You know microdosing? You know, you take like a tiny amount of... Yeah, we did the opposite of that. We took loads. We macrodosed pretty hard, man. We were eating mushrooms like a vegetarian at a barbecue. Mine were duds, though. They didn't work. I'd kind of psyched myself up, but they were duds, and it was a bit of a disappointment, because, like, although I'm not a big drugs guy, like, I think psychedelics are interesting, and, like, you know, it changes people's lives, right? That's what people say. Like, I'd love to do ayahuasca. You know, it's like this powerful hallucinogen. You go off to Peru, and you take it in the jungle, and all the plants start talking to you. They tell you to follow your dreams and everything. It's transformative. It changes people's lives. It's great. They start talking, like, you know, follow your dreams. Believe in yourself. I love the idea of that. To be honest, what scares me about it between me and you is I've been following my dreams the whole time. I'm worried I might be the first poor sod that goes off to Peru and the plants all start talking, but it's just going, grow up. Have you ever thought about getting a job in recruitment? Get a LinkedIn, get your act together, come on. Mum was right, you should have been a teacher. A lot of fun. Worst date I went on last year. It was through no fault of hers. She was lovely. She was American, which isn't a problem, except that it is. And she was great, right? But the setting was all wrong. This was in Glasgow. We just met and we just went to a pub, and there just happened to be a pub quiz on, right? And we're like, let's just play the pub quiz. That'll be fun. I was so naive about this, and I bet you would be too, by the way. You've got no idea, sitting there, how different Britain and America are culturally, until you're the only British person sat with one American at a British pub quiz. It's unbelievable. I thought it might be occasionally, like, we call that the pavement. It's not that. It's all night, 100 questions. Question 1, the cheeky girls rose to prominence on which UK talent show? Who were the cheeky girls? You're like, where to fucking start? I mean, I don't know, they're like our Destiny's Child. There's 3 of them now. There's two twins, 2 sisters. They had a song about touching arses, I think it was. So they're singers, so X Factor, no, it was before that. So they're British, right? No. Get a load of this. They're from Transylvania. You know Dracula? It's him and them. Figure that one out. I don't get it. But no, it's before X Factor. It's before even Pop Idol. I think Pop Stars, I think it was called. Dr. Fox was one of the judges. Pete Waterman, I think he was a locomotive enthusiast. Is this ringing any bells? Why are they famous? Oh, one of them used to go out with Lembit Opik. Who's Lembit Opik? You're like, what are they teaching you over there? See a singer? No, he's a politician. He was an MP. He was Liberal, Democrat. Oh, Liberal like Labour. No, it's not that. You know how you've only got 2 political parties? Well, so do we, but it got a bunch of daft ones for a laugh. It's It's one of them. The logo's kind of orange, that's all I know. By the time you said all that, it's like, question 13, Dick and Dom into bungalow. And you're like, just get a fucking drink next door. So yeah, we're out on the town, we're having fun, and yeah, meeting loads of people, having a laugh. And I've had to find a way to talk about sex on stage. I'm really awkward about it. The room's changed already. If it's not coming across on the cameras, there's a palpable change of tension in the room. It's my job to put you at ease, and I'm telling you, I ain't comfortable. I just want to talk about sex. You know, we all do it, unless you're a nerd. We all do it. And, you know, we all do it, and there's just parts of it are funny. And you're meant to be sex positive, aren't you? I'm sex positive. I've had chlamydia. I'm meant to be sex positive. Parts of it are just funny to me every time. Like, putting a condom on, to me, is just hilarious. Every single time. Maybe it's funny for me because I've used the same technique I used to put my duvet on. Pinch the ends, climb inside, waft out from the bottom. That's just how we do it in my family. One for the incels on YouTube there. I also think sex is funny because you're playing a role, aren't you, in the bedroom? You're not the same as you are in the rest of your life. You're playing a character to a degree, and that's interesting and funny to me. And like one time, many years ago with an ex, she wanted me to be very dominant with her and very rough. And like that's not me, but you know, fuck it, I'm Daniel Day-Lewis. I'm the greatest actor of my generation. I'll give it a go if that's what you want. So we're getting down to it, and a couple of minutes in, which is pretty good. We're getting down to it, and you know, I'm being horrible as per request. And it's going great, we're having a good time, but the tumble dryer in the next room is finished, it's cycle, right? And the tumble dryer's going, beep, 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 and I'm like, just put out your mind, man, because a naturally aggressive man wouldn't give a fuck about the tumble dryer. I know it's all you can think about, Stu, but it's not about you, this situation. So I was like, I'll just put it out my mind, and another 30 seconds go by, which is pretty good. And then she breaks, and she goes, can you switch the tumble dryer off? And so I do, obviously. And I guess what I'm saying is, it's just quite hard to segue back into calling someone a worthless slut once you've voluntarily switched off an appliance for them. Kind of robs you of your authority. Cucked by Bosch, not for the first time. I've got more kind of road stories from last year that I'm not particularly proud of, so I thought I'm just going to read them to you. Let's just get them out of the way. Try not to think about them too much. That's the worst I've ever done. Last summer I went on 2 or 3 dates with a girl, and we really liked each other, but we're at very different points in our lives, so we decided to call it a day in a very mature and sensible way, and we sent each other these kind of long, wholesome texts. A week later, I bumped into her at Transmit Music Festival, took loads of ecstasy, and got chucked out of a pub for her, quote, straddling me in a way that was borderline publicly indecent. Had sex with a lesbian, don't ask me to explain it, I don't understand it myself. I slept with someone whose cat bit me on the arse. I'm sorry, but if you're not laughing at that, that's like Tom and Jerry level shenanigans, so like, I can't do it all for you. I had sex with someone and she kept checking her Fitbit during. I'm like, you putting this on Strava? What's going on? I shagged a girl that works in Morrison's and she gave me a 10% staff discount barcode. It's one of the nicest things anyone's ever done for me. And in a cost of living crisis, I genuinely think that might be better than marriage. I had sex on a sailboat, and at one point through the cabin window, I made eye contact with a 70-year-old Indian man who gave me a thumbs up. To say I think about that man 3 times a week barely covers it. Had sex with a girl who insisted on having her 5th-generation iPod on shuffle during. At one point, we made love to the audiobook of Chapter 6 of Richard Dawkins' The God Delusion. That's a tough shag, let me tell you. I'm so not proud of this. Last June, I was in the pub with 2 friends. I just ordered a pint of Guinness and a Cullen skink, which, if you don't know, is a type of fish soup. It's a Scottish traditional fish soup. It's very important. I just ordered a pint of Guinness and a Cullen skink when I received an Instagram message request from someone I'd never met that read, "Do you want to come round to mine and fuck me?" I was torn because on one hand, it made me feel like a worthless piece of meat, but on the other, I thought she raised some pretty good points. She continued sending me explicit messages, whereas my messages in return mainly revolved around the Cullen skink. Once I'd eaten the Cullen skink, I arrived at hers to find that she had no sheets on her bed or duvet covers, and also she was watching me on TV. The vibes were off. Also, she offered me some cocaine, which I politely declined, citing the fact it was a Tuesday, I don't really like cocaine, and I was letting my Cullen skink settle. Whilst watching TV during an advert for a bank, she kept making offhand jokes about being a crazy stalker who was going to steal my bank details. As I said, the vibes were off, and I genuinely thought I could be putting myself in real danger. After having sex... After having sex, I took a city bike home, and about 4 miles up the road, I stopped at a petrol station to buy myself a packet of crisps and a Twix to celebrate not getting murdered. When I went to the till to pay, I opened my wallet and realised that all the cards had fallen out when I went to get a condom and that I'd have to go back to her flat. Months later, my bank account was hacked, and to this day, I do not know if she was involved or not. However, I remain alive, and the Cullen skink was delicious. Thank you. Ooh, what a life. So that's kind of a hot summer, what a bummer. And I realised this is when I started going to therapy and that. I'm out in the town, I'm distracting myself, but that's all it is, I realise. It's just pure distraction. I'm not happy on my own, I'm just outsourcing it, and it's no good. And I started going to therapy. Like, that's when I learn I'm really needy and codependent. I jump into a relationship faster than my phone jumps on BT Opens on Wi-Fi. Same result, no connection. And learn all this. I'm like an apple. Neediest of all the fruit. Apples need constant attention. You ever eaten an apple, you stop for like 1 second, I'll just turn myself brown. Pathetic. Who's that joke hurted? No one. Do you know what I mean? It never does better than that, but it stays in the show forever. That's for me, that joke. And yeah, like I say, I don't want to overplay my hand, but I started going to therapy at this point. I realise I'm not happy. And, I'm not like on death or anything to worry about me. It's just... you got to talk about mental health. It's funny, I know we talk about mental health now and that's good, but it's also bad. It's gone too far. They were talking about it on the snooker, because one of the players came out, he said, I'm suffering from mental health issues. And by the way, it's brilliant and valiant and great that he did that, but let's not talk about it on the snooker. It's gone too far. They felt the need to bring it up all the time, even though none of them had a fucking clue what to say. If you don't watch the snooker, every pundit is an old, white English man who does not know a thing about mental health, has never mentioned it, and then when I was depressed on the couch last year, overcompensated by bringing it up every single time this one player that said he had problems was on table. It was ridiculous. He'd be down on a shot like that. And John Virgo would be in the commentary box going, tricky yellow this, never easy. Especially when you're suffering from mental health problems. What the fuck are you on about, John? It's 10 a.m. on BBC Two. Wind your neck in, brother. We're putting a snooker, they're reading out the Samaritans helpline and shit. What the fuck's going on? So yes, I realise I'm not happy. I go to therapy, and one of the first things he asked me is like, how are you on your own? How are you in your own company? I tell him I'm great, which is a lie. I don't know why I lie to this guy. I'm paying 60 quid to see, but there you go. And I realise I'm good on my own, but with the caveat of as long as I'm constantly entertained, which is not the same. Like, I'm on my phone all day long, the way we all are now, and it's not even fun anymore. Like, it used to be fun. I remember my first touchscreen, I was about 15. I got the iPod Touch, Christmas Day, best day of my life. I got the Carling app. Yeah, about 15 real heads remember the Carling app. For the viewers at home and the people not in the know, this is when this country still made stuff, by the way. Carling, the beer company, when the first touchscreens came out, they had an app where you would touch your phone and it would fill with what looked like a pint of lager. Yeah, right, we're getting it now. We're good. This cake's cooking now. And it made use of the motion sensors, and if you wobbled it, the beer would wobble. And then if you went like that, it looked like you were drinking a pint. And that should be the big finale of this show. That was the best day of my life. Christmas Day. Do it again. Show your granddad. Now I'm 30, all my apps are functional, my granddad's dead. Welcome to the show. And he's like, you need to be better in your own company. So basically, he was like, I'd never tell you what to do, but I think it'd be really positive for you to if you went on a holiday on your own, like a little weekend away, that kind of thing. I was like, yeah, I'd like to do that. A lot of my friends have done that. It looks very mature, very grown up. I'd love to do that. And so what I'm about to tell you is really embarrassing, but I got stoned one night and booked a trip to Oban. Which, honestly, the first time I told an audience that, I wasn't expecting a laugh for that. I thought that was just a sentence. Turns out that's a pathetic thing for a pathetic man to do. I booked a trip to Oban. I got stoned. I'm not a big drugs guy, like I said. I took weed fudge, most embarrassing drug you can take. Weed fudge. It's the only drugs I've ever bought. I bought it off Instagram, this weed fudged. And honestly, the speed with which I clicked buy and then imagined a life behind bars it was instant. It was like, buy, I'll read some books, I'll get in shape. What are you in for? Fudge. Nice one. I got really stoned that night. I booked a trip to Oban on my own, and two things happened. I booked a trip to Oban on my own, and I woke up and there was a note on my corkboard I'd written to myself that just said, I know what to do. Literally no idea what that means to this day. So I booked this trip, and then I'm very busy. I forget about it. It's 3 or 4 months in the future. I totally forget. And then I just get notifications all the time. I got a notification from Airbnb, an email. It's like, you're going to Oban, dipshit. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. So I did do that. I was like, well, I should do it. It was a challenge to myself. My therapist wanted me to go. I'd want to go. Fuck it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get a meal deal for the train. I can buy myself flowers. Thank you. I'm going to make it happen. And I arrive all excited. I get to Glasgow Queen Street. I find out I booked the trains the wrong way around. I booked Oban to Glasgow, Glasgow to Oban. I'm just setting up a new life in Oban now. Just the saddest man in Oban. I'll never forget the feeling of eating that meal deal in my flat. I don't know if you've ever eaten a meal deal in the flat before. It's never plan A. I've eaten 6 or 7 meal deals in my flat, and they're 6 or 7 of the lowest moments of my life. And I wasn't even alone because I'd forgotten, because I was going away, I booked out my flat on Airbnb. I had a 60-year-old German woman coming to stay. So I ended up sleeping on my own couch. And I don't know if you've ever hosted on Airbnb before, but that is a wake-up call, let me tell you. Because when you get to the place, you need to write out like the welcome instructions to tell them how to get in and how everything works in your flat and what you do and stuff. That shines a bright light on your life that you do not need. I'm telling you, in my head, I'm like, I'm a successful guy, I'm making my way in the world, and then you're typing out things like, yeah, we don't have a door handle to the front room. It's just a hole where the handle used to be. It's just pop your finger in. Trust it. It's not like a Bush Tucker trial. You're not going to get bitten. We don't like it either, Gertrude, but that's the system. The Wi-Fi code's there. Knock yourself out. The Wi-Fi's great if you're within about 8 inches of the router. Every time you fancy a wank, you got to go in the hall. Enjoy that. You can dry your clothes. You've got a washing machine, old-fashioned sort of pulley system, like the 4 long wooden slats. You hoist it up for drying your clothes. It's great for drying your clothes, but it's right above the hob in the kitchen. So you need to watch what you're cooking. Bland meals or stink. Those are your options. Don't want to make a nice bolognese, spend the rest of the week. Everyone thinks Lloyd Grossman's got a fucking aftershave out. There's a communal garden out back. Feel free to make use of that. There's 12 flats all in this one shared communal block, and we all share this one communal garden. Feel free to make yourself at home there. I've never been out there. Don't feel safe. I've never seen anyone... It's worse than having no garden, having a communal garden. No one's safe there. It's like that bit between North and South Korea. It's fucking no man's land. Typing all this out going, Christ, I'd be gutted if this was my holiday. Thank God it's just my whole life. So my therapist asked me how my trip went, and I said, a meal deal on the couch next to a 60-year-old German woman. And he's like, don't worry about it, man. These things happen. But just take the spirit of it. That's the thing. That was the idea. Spend time alone. So you need to do that. You got to date yourself. That's what he tells me. Got to date yourself, which is a very online phrase, dating yourself. If you've not heard that phrase, what it means to date yourself is it means you're alone. And sometimes you go to the cinema. It's rebranded loneliness, and it's all right. I'm a comedian. It's a very solitary job. I spend a lot of time on my own anyway. Going to the cinema, absolutely fine. It is fucking weird, though. We need to re-stigmatize this. It's fine, but it is weird. Be honest with yourself. You know this if you've gone to the cinema. It's fucking weird to sit there for like 3 hours like that. On your own. And then the credits roll. And then just like... On with my life, I suppose, then. No one need ever hear my thoughts on Dune 2. And on my own, I'm not confident in any of my opinions. I've not got any opinions until I just steal whatever the last opinion I heard was. So, on my own, I'm just like cutting about Cineworld, eavesdropping on other couples, trying to get some fucking opinions going, I went to see that movie After Sun a couple of years ago. I don't know if you've seen it. It's quite an artsy film. Paul Mescal's in it, and it's about this young father and his relationship with his young daughter, and they go on a family holiday together. At the time I watched it, I thought it was quite nice, quite touching. As I came out of Cineworld, though, I overheard this girl talking to her boyfriend, and she was a lot more passionate than me, so I just took her opinion. She fucking hated it, by the way. This was her word-for-word review. She went, what the fuck was the point of that? What the fuck was that? I could have just sat in the house and thought about the holidays went on with my dad. I was like, she's right. We can all do it. We have the tools. You can just stay at home and imagine a planet with apes on it. There's a war in the stars. I'll figure it out. I'm not good at films either. If I just don't fall asleep, that's 5 stars. I fall asleep during everything. Like, you're a nice audience, I appreciate it. I know it's very hot and it's a Tuesday and stuff, but you're doing your best. I'm a terrible audience member. I fall asleep during every film, and I don't just nod off. I fall asleep hard, man. I went to see that Queen movie a few years ago, Bohemian Rhapsody. When I fell asleep, Freddie Mercury had a girlfriend, and when I woke up, he had AIDS. That's a big 40 winks. He achieved a lot in that time, God bless him. So yes, going to the cinema on my own, meals on my own. Don't know if you've got any solo diners in. I find the lack of ceremony with a solo meal hilarious. Every time. It's ridiculous. Like when you're in a couple, you know, maybe you go out with another couple, you make a reservation, you're all excited, you've got a wee group chat going, dress up nice, you get there, lounge music, candles, starters, mains, puddings, you go for another drink somewhere else. That's good. You got a good thing going then. On your own, you rock up, cagoule on, rucksack, tight. Podcasting, listening to Guardian Football Weekly. Table for one, they sit me down, remove the cutlery from the other half. So I have to say, this cunt's not getting laid and bread meets bread. Can I get you some water for the table? I am the table. Give me all the water you got, baby! Do you want to see the menu? Nah, I'm having a cheeseburger, chips, and the bill. Let's get out of here, brother. I won't be tipping. I'm not here to impress anyone. In and out in 4 seconds. It's like a Formula 1 pit stop. That's it. Dating myself, going to the movies on my own, going for meals on my own, ghosting myself, seeing other people behind my back. It's going pretty well. And a lot of fun, but you know, there is stuff you miss, definitely bits you miss. Like that sense of being known, you know, like that last relationship was 4 or 5 years, and you know, you get to know someone in that time, and I guess when that's gone, there's just like no one that knows you like that. And I think I've got a very idealistic view of love and stuff because my parents are still together. They've been married for like, I think 35 years, and so I've got like a good example to go off. Like growing up, when we were on holiday one time, we were on the train going on holiday, and my mum was bored, right? And so she was like, let's play hangman. So she drew out the gallows, and then she did 9 dashes / 6 dashes. And my dad didn't even look up from the paper. He just went, Sigourney Weaver. And he was right. You know, that's what I want. That sense of being a team, camaraderie. You're just sharing in it together. You know, it's nice that, like, got each other's backs, you know, maybe you've had a tough day and you come home and you have a bottle of wine and you put a MasterChef on or something and you sit and drink your wine and slag off people's puddings. That's nice, and I can still do that. You know, people say you can have the same life on your own as you can in a couple, and it's true, but it's not exactly true, is it? Like, I can do that, but it's different. That's nice. The difference between that and me on my couch smashing a bag of cans shouting at Greg Wallace is it's the same activity, but tonally worlds apart. May as well be in the park shouting at pigeons. Miss that. I miss boring chat so badly. If you're in a relationship, honestly, appreciate the boring chat. I know when you've been together a long time, it can get dull and monotonous, but appreciate it because you miss it when it's gone. I'm telling you, like, it's exhausting. This is my job. I got to come here and try and be funny and charming for you. Then I'll go on first dates. I got to try and be funny and charming. I'm just trying all day long. It's exhausting. With respect, there's people here that look like they've given up, and they're the happiest people here, I'm telling you. There's such comfort in that. You're not impressing each other. You know each other's shitty stories. Just hitting out with the most stinking chat you've heard in your life. I did 10,000 steps today. I've not been able to tell anyone how many steps I've done for like 2 years, and it's fucking killing me. I can't be there on the first date. I'm Stu. Guess how many steps I've done? I absolutely love boring chat, man. I was going to go to H&M earlier, but didn't. If it's up to me, that'd be the whole show, that and the Apple joke. That's all I'm interested in. So yes, I've just been trying, as much as you miss it, you try not to jump in and you try and be realistic and know that it's hard, especially as you get in your 30s and that, things are complicated. And, you know, just busy, like I say, really busy. I don't know how I could fit it in. You know, the Battle of the Boyne comes around quicker every year. We're in that awkward bit now, aren't we, between Christmas and the Battle of the Boyne where no one knows what day it is. Just try not to jump in and make the mistakes in the past, you know. And it's hard, like I say, relationships, we know this, it's hard. It can be difficult, a long-term relationship. And parts of it are tricky. And like, I don't want to generalize, but I don't want to be like men are like this, women are like that. But in my experience, talking personally, every girlfriend I've ever gone out with, her relationship with her morning alarm just baffles and upsets me. I don't know, maybe people don't agree, maybe they do. I was dating a girl like this last year, right? I liked her and that, but I had to call off. She was driving me insane. If I'm setting an alarm, to get up at 9, I set alarm 8:59, I'm up. She's like, I'm thinking every 6 minutes for 4 hours? What the fuck are you doing? I like it. It feels like I'm getting more sleep. No, you're getting less sleep. It's waking you up, it's alarming you. Surely is what's happening. She's like, no, I like it. I like drifting. Oh, you're like drifting back off to it like a podcast. Fuck it, start now, get on now. Let's get the chip pan on. Let's get the smoke alarm going, girl. Let's chill out for once. Next day, she's like, why are you so tired and grumpy? I don't know, because you fucking audio waterboarded me for 4 hours. I have to leave you in a minute. You've been so lovely. Thanks for coming out. It is hot, isn't it? Is that just me? I know it's me that's got the lights on and everything, but it's very hot. But you've been lovely. Thanks for this. This is, I would say, a pretty level par job we've done for 7 p.m. on a Tuesday, and that's what we were looking for. Before I go, like I said, you've kind of started with previously on, and so, you know, I'm an autobiographical stand-up. You kind of just put the pen down, when you come to the Fringe. This is where I got up to, basically. It's like an update. It's like, you know, the end of First Dates on Channel 4 when the text comes up. It's like that bit, you know. Tony and Gail went to Chiquitos and fucked, and they'll never see each other again. You know, it's that kind of thing. Eventually I signed to an agent, for what it's worth, thank you. Not the one from the meeting, Christ. She's great, she's lovely, she's very good. One thing she got me was I got to go to that festival, the same one that I went to 7 years ago. And I had a great time, it was really fantastic, it was great to be back there as a professional comedian. Sadly didn't get to ruin the personal lives of any budding stand-ups, but we go again. For a few months there, I dated someone that I really liked, and in the past, we might have forced it and jumped in, but it wouldn't have been right for me or her, but we remain friends. At time of speaking, I own 3 pairs of trousers. The zip is fucked on one of them, but, you know. I also recently went back to the cafe I got sacked from 8 years ago, and they all still really like me. By which I mean they do not remember me. After the disappointment of not making to Oban, I got stoned on fudge again and I booked a trip to Lisbon on my own. Lisbon, very much the Oban of continental Europe. And it was nice, I had a good time. You know, I wasn't never lonely, but I was content, I was happy on my own, you know. If you think it's weird going to the cinema on your own, try like a 5-mile hike. On your own, go round the mountain like that, and you get to the top and you're like... 35,000 steps and you can't tell anyone, fucking hell. On holiday on my own, I was able to observe other couples, and I'm sure there's couples in, I don't want to offend anyone, but honestly, kind of cringe. Or what, you'd love someone, so you want to go on holiday with them. Grow up. On the last day of my holiday, I went to the aquarium on my own, and I never took my headphones or spoke to anyone. And it was kind of, it was nice, that's kind of what I wanted, although I wasn't actually on my own. I think it was like a hangover from COVID, so they made you go around in little groups. So there's 3 of us going around this tour of the aquarium together. Me and the horniest Brazilian couple you've ever seen in your life. And with respect, there are horny people at the best of times. We were quite the team, us 3, I gotta tell you. I've never seen people like that in my life. They were both like models, stunning. They were taking selfies with a fish. That's not a move I'd seen before or since. They kept getting off with each other. And it was so wild to be there as part of a triple with them. And like, I don't want to slag them off and put it online and stuff, but I honestly hated them so much that I honestly think it took seeing them to make me realize that I am actually happier on my own. I'm a sex-positive guy, but I don't think there's ever a good reason to slap someone's arse in an aquarium. That's just me, traditional guy. When I got back, my therapist said he was proud of me for going on my own, and he said I'd made good progress in the last year. And we spoke about that note I made to myself that night I got stoned. I know what to do. And he was like, that's your gut talking, you should listen to it. You've always looked for something external to validate you or give you the answers. Audiences, lovers, drugs, strangers in Cineworld. And yeah, you're still figuring it out, but you know what to do. Invest in yourself as if you're someone else, You got to be your own wife guy, that kind of thing, you know. It's just doing it, that's the hard part. It's never easy, you know. Especially when you're suffering from mental health problems. I thanked him for challenging me to spend time alone and to go on holiday by myself, and I had a great time, and I realised that when I came back, you know, I'm kind of over it now, I'm kind of healed, and, you know, I wanted to miss him, but I didn't. Thank you. Thank you. And one final thing, Wayne Kes. It was Michael McIntyre. I'm only kidding on, of course it was. That would be crazy. Thank you so much for coming. Have a great night. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Thank you. Cheers.